Right now, Bitcoin's price today is $59,407. We're $410 away from 58K. Gang, 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 gang. But that's not the important part, guys. You guys know what the important part is. The important part, for $1, we can get yourself, or you can get yourself 1,682 Satoshis for $1. Or as BTC Backpacker likes to say, 16.82 sats for 1 cent. My goodness, guys. So anyway, Lauren, what's up, brother? Hello, everyone. So I want to know you guys' thoughts real quick on and I'll give you mine after you guys are done. What are you guys' overall thoughts on the whole civil war? What's going on with Bitcoin, Bitcoin Core and knots, and also BIP 110, and what's going on with that? What do you think? I'll let you start off, BTC Backpacker. Hold on 1 second. Scotty, what's up? Hello, is this the right place for Monday morning vibes? For you? Yes, it is, sir. Only for you, though. Whoever wants to start, go ahead. Let me know.
I'm not too tuned into the BIP 110 as much as I am the core versus knots. Like I say on my channel all the time, I'm not the most technical person. I don't get into technicalities. I just don't like reading too far into things. I am a believer that we need to adapt and change as time progresses, as Bitcoin progresses, as new technologies and advancements come out, right? However, the issue I have with Core, especially when they did that discussion panel on stage, I just feel like there's nefarious actors within Core. I don't feel like they could properly articulate themselves when they were asked certain questions, just in general. I gotta respectfully say that there's people out there that know more about this than me, obviously. But when I hear someone like Matthew Cratter, because I could listen to Cratter, he gives a great explanation. And then when I agree with him because I align with what he said, there's not a lot of stuff he says that I don't align with, to be quite honest. And I circumvent my own thoughts and everything. But in general, Bitcoin is political, not in the sense that we say with politics and like Congress. Bitcoin is becoming its own political spectrum within itself. With core versus knots, the BIP 110, block size wars, all these things, right? Because we all have a consensus stake. Well, anybody who's running a node has a stake or a say in the system. That's basically your voting right. And as far as that goes, if you're not running a node, then you really don't have a say because you've chosen to basically say that your position in Bitcoin and growth and everything in the ecosystem doesn't matter because you're allowing other people to do it. But your vote, you can't say anything, you can't complain. You got to vote with your, how we say you vote with your pen, you go there, you do it, you get up, you walk in, you vote, you go through that motion. Well, it's the same thing. So most of the people that are complaining about things or say stuff, they're not even running nodes themselves. So first of all, they need to check themselves because that's fake. Some people don't have a say at all, and that's fine too. Not every Bitcoiner is a Bitcoiner, or everybody's in it for the same reasons people like us are. Some people are in it for number go up. Some people are in it for sovereignty. We're in it for sovereignty, and but I think it's interesting because we're starting to see the politics within Bitcoin get bigger and bigger and bigger, or it's becoming more and more talked about. So I don't like to overly focus on that stuff because I feel like, to me, honestly, it's at this point in time, it's a distraction. But I will say that it's important to be in the know, right, Jerry? You know what I'm saying? Like, same thing with the politics and everything. You don't need to be all in it, but you need to know enough. Yeah, I don't know. I think now is the time to do your research, but I also think it's time to understand and just continue to stack and don't allow the external distractions to to push you off of the path you need to go. Because the reality is this stuff is going to happen whether you like it or not. Down the road, there's going to be things we don't even know what to expect that's going to happen within the Bitcoin ecosystem, the Bitcoin politics, the political spectrum within Bitcoin. But once again, just keep on buying no matter what. Don't let any of that influence you, and then just circumvent your own thoughts. But that's the beauty of it. That's the freedom of will and the freedom of everybody to be able to do what they want.
Yes, and Trent, before you answer that question, I want to watch this video real quick. This is Jeff Booth talking about running knots, and then I'll get your thoughts on it on the back end. Trent, he's on Robin Sierra's show talking about it. Let's take a look.
The people defend this network, core versus knots, is an example. And I want to be careful. I'll talk about. So I run knots today. And why I run knots today is because my expectation of core. So what core did with increasing of up returns and everything else was not the Bitcoin that I want, right? And it felt like it was imposed on me, right? And here's what a small group of people want without and what I would expect in any centralized organization, core too, right? And I'm not going to say bad people, because I traveled with Gloria in Africa. But what I couldn't believe is, and she was a nice person, like really nice person. But what I couldn't believe is she didn't own Bitcoin.
Really?
She didn't own Bitcoin.
That's
She
crazy.
didn't know very much about Bitcoin.
Have you ever noticed?
Now, Gloria is the lady that was one of the people in charge of Bitcoin Core back then, but she left the project. Anyways, Trent, what's your overall thoughts on this? Do you have any? What do you think about this stuff?
So I have always been on the side of it is a talking point that will distract normal people from buying Bitcoin. They'll hear this headline and they'll get scared. It's a scare tactic. They won't invest. They won't do research because they think there's some kind of internal war happening and it's going to take the whole project down. And honestly, it isn't really affecting anyone from day to day at the moment, at least until there is a hard fork, which I don't see happening. I lived through the the blockchain wars. I didn't know crap about it when it was happening, and I kind of want to stay that way with this knots versus core thing. I'm just going to keep accumulating. Whoever wins. I don't like what core's doing, but I don't see it affecting my opinion on Bitcoin as a whole.
Now, one thing I will say to that, I agree with you, Trump. I think we're on the same page with that. How it has a negative effect, at least for the normies or the other individuals on the outside looking in, right? The one thing I will say, and I didn't bring this up when I was speaking, was the bloat, was allowing that nonsense on the
I don't want that either, but
on the chain. So that's really, if I had to give one reason why I'm absolutely against that party, it's because of that. We're not a Dropbox or a Google Drive or like some Easter egg thing you got to scroll back on the time train to find a message. Like, we're not that. Like, this is money. It's to be treated as money, respected as money, and we don't need to be flooding with nonsense. I think you brought it up the other day, Jerry, talking about you were referencing somebody in the chat, and I think it was on your live stream actually. It might have been Gray. If it keeps on growing the size it is now, including whatever else they want to add into it's going to be like some massive terabytes or some astronomical number to get the chain onto a node, like from 15, 20 years from now. It was like some crazy number. And it was just like, why? Because they want to add emojis and GIFs and, heaven forbid, other things that we shall not discuss on here.
Yeah. I come from a little bit of a different approach than you guys. I agree with you, Trent, about the part where you said that it is a lot of noise and a lot of people that don't understand Bitcoin will not quote unquote invest or save or buy Bitcoin because of that, right? But I think honestly, I think that's done on purpose. I think it's a two-pronged thing with what's going on with core. I don't know what's going on with core, honestly. I don't know why they're doing it. I can guess, but it just doesn't make any sense to me to open the op return that much from the size it was before, from 40 to 80 to 100,000. It just doesn't make any sense to me, especially when this is our network and we're trying to make it a money. Spaceman, how are you, sir? Fanny, I feel like we haven't talked in forever. Eventually, only somebody with a data center of stores will be able to hold a copy of it and run a node. Yeah, yeah. And that was the problem with the block size wars when Bitcoin Jesus came out and he wanted the big blocks back then. The problem is it would be a too much of a centralized situation with the nodes because it would just be too much space inside of the blockchain. And to run a node, basically, a lot of people don't understand. I know you guys do, but it's basically just downloading the entire blockchain. And when you have, you know, 60, 70, 80% of the blocks filled with spam and junk and all this stuff that's not money, it's going to start diluting Bitcoin. And then if they have, bad things on the blockchain, that'll mess it up too.
And we're already getting to that point where I was doing some research and I was going to buy a node or build a node, actually, not buy. But the blockchain itself already is over. Well, it's not quite a terabyte, but we're knocking on, it'll be a 2 terabytes probably next year. Well, you'll need a 2 terabyte hard drive to run the node next year. And a 2 terabyte SSD is almost $400. Like, it's putting limitations in multiple places.
Yeah, that's a great point, man. It's exponentially making it harder to download the entire, especially if you run a full node and you download it from January 3rd, 2009. Imagine somebody coming in 2028 or 2032. People like things fast, and it just won't be fast. It took me back in November 2023 when I first downloaded my node. It took me about a half a day to download it. I have, for full disclosure, I do have a Start 9. I have the 4 terabyte one. And I remember asking the people that helped me do it this. I said, how long will this last? How much? They go, oh, the data now, it'll last for years, 15 years. But
No.
now with all this, and this is before they started, talking about opening up the op return, it's going to be bad. And it's not just because of that. It's just the way they're going about it. It's one thing when, and I'm not trying to make arguments with anybody or nothing like that. It's just that I have my entire net worth in this thing. And do I think it can make it go to zero? No, but I do think there are some dangers. Like I always say, the United States of America has two enemies. We have an enemy from within, what the people that are running the Democrat Party, the rhinos, the military industrial complex, and then also you have people from overseas that want to be our enemies. Well, I think Bitcoin has the same thing. We have people that are outside of Bitcoin that want us to stop us, like people that run the Fed, the same people that don't like America and freedom, but also we have people inside of Bitcoin that want to take it down. And I think that's the easiest way to do it. And I just don't like all this stuff going on. Again, I don't live and breathe it, but when you hear a guy like Matthew Cratter, who's a pretty sane guy, he's not like this kook, because he's acting crazy right now because people think he's acting crazy because all he keeps talking about is this, and this. But if you actually sit down and listen, and I stopped watching his videos for a while, I'm not going to lie to you, for like a couple of months, because man, he keeps talking about the same freaking thing every time. But then I decided to go back and listen to him. And when I really sat down, I did this over like a 4 or 5 day period. I just went and binged him. He's worried about it because he really believes that this is a threat to Bitcoin. And I do too. So I'm not saying I want everybody to worry about it and go crazy about it, but it's something I think that we need to pay attention to before it's too late. Because again, we don't want the blocks to be huge with a bunch of BS in it. When people ask me what Bitcoin is, it's money, and I think we should keep it that way. And the only way we're going to keep it that way is we fight against the network. And again, the way Core is answering questions and they're the reasoning why they're doing things, it's just not making any sense to me.